Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 16 updates and spoilers. We have two house guests of the day, Baby Shane and Kristen. So first up, Baby Shane, the son of Allie Jones, was just born on August 5th. So congratulations to Allie and welcome to Earth, Shane. And Kristen, my sister, it's her 27th birthday. So happy birthday, Bobby Christina. Alright, so I got a lot to get to today. There was a lot of excitement in the last day and a half. So, as you guys saw on last night's episode, no one was evicted because it was the BB Rewind. Some burning questions after last night's episode. The jury's coming back? Victoria? Did she ever get access to her suitcase? I really want to know the answer to that one. We didn't find out, but we did learn that the house guests will be competing in the same competitions this week that they competed in last week. So let's start with the HOH competition. Frankie won last time, but last night, Caleb was victorious. So it sounds like they blew through this competition pretty quickly. They already had some experience with it, and I think they also had some extra balls that they had to put in the shovel thing. So even though they had some extra stuff, it went really quickly. Also, Cody was back in that dinosaur costume when the feeds returned after the competition. So the second the feeds came back, everyone was like glued to that memory wall because they know that the Power of Veto competition is going to be the morph competition again. So they're all studying everyone's faces very thoroughly, and Caleb was like, it's pointless to study because they morph faces so much. So he's not really into studying. We've seen that a lot this season. Whenever people are like Jedi training and going over dates and events, he's just like, yeah, I don't care about that stuff. So Derek goes into the fire room by himself and he says, he, meaning Frankie, ain't beaten me twice. No way. He beat me once. He's not beating me again. Can he beat Frankie in the competition? I don't know. Last time Derek was kind of like jogging around back and forth and Frankie was full out running, so we'll see. But Victoria walks into the fire room and Derek is like, hey you, good job with that eviction speech. He gives her new instructions for the week. Stay close to Caleb and Frankie, and we have to win the veto this week, or it could be bad. So then Derek is talking to Caleb in the fire room, and there's some major butt kissing going on. And then Derek is like, so you gonna nominate Frankie? And Caleb is not feeling it. So Caleb is like, I don't want to nominate Frankie and then risk having Frankie win the POV and come after Caleb next week because Caleb can't play in the HOH competition. And as you guys may have noticed, Frankie's very good at competitions. So he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about putting up you and Victoria, and then maybe I'll nominate Frankie if he doesn't win the Power of Veto. So he's like, yeah, I just need to talk to Cody about it. We'll see what everyone thinks. So then Frankie walks in, and they start talking about how Victoria can't win the Power Veto this week. She's gotta go! So, Caleb and Cody have a chat in the kitchen, and Caleb tells Cody, again, he's nervous to nominate Frankie. He doesn't want Frankie to end up staying and then coming after him the following week. So, he also tells Cody his idea of putting up Derek because he hasn't been nominated yet. And Cody seems pretty cool with it. He doesn't want to go on the freaking block. And just, what was it, yesterday, the day before, he was acting all pissy, saying how it was annoying that Derek hasn't been on the block yet. So, he's all about it. So then Cody brings up, he's wondering if Frankie actually threw this HOH competition so that he could play in the Final Four HOH, because Frankie's been complaining all week about how he won't get to play in the next HOH. And Caleb is like, no, you can't throw comps this late in the game. Caleb was just talking about potentially throwing competitions like a week ago. So Derek walks in on this conversation, and again, he's like, you're putting up Frankie, right? And Caleb is like, nah, I don't want to put him up. I don't want to put him up. So I'm just waiting for the smoke to start coming out of Derek's ears. It's just going to be like this loud whistle, and then like, He's freaking out. So, yeah. Derek and Cody chat about Caleb. Derek is really pissed that Caleb doesn't want to nominate Frankie. So Cody tells Derek, yeah, so I think Caleb wants to nominate you, Derek. And it just makes Derek even more upset. So they think, yeah, Frankie and Caleb must have a final two deal. Why else would he be protecting him like this? So Derek says, if I go up on the block and I win the power veto and stay this week, and then I win HOH, I'm freaking going after Caleb. So it's just another excuse for Derek to bring Victoria to the final three. That means final two. So they agree Caleb's a wussy, and I'm just like, look who's talking. I'm looking straight at Kirstie Alley and John Travolta up in here. Yeah, two babies. So Frankie is called to the diary room, and the three other guys meet in the bathroom to chat about what else? Nominations. It's the same stuff. Derek and Cody are like, put up Frankie, and Caleb's like, no. So then Derek is finally like, okay, Caleb, you can nominate me if you want, but if Frankie wins the power veto, he could totally save Victoria, and then it's going to be me and Cody up on the block, and that's going to suck. So finally, Caleb is like, all right, whatever, I'll put up Frankie. But he wants to assure Frankie that he's safe first. So we'll see. Let's talk about Caleb's Fantasy Land. I like to visit this place with Caleb every once in a while. He talks about it all the time. This time, it was Caleb, country music singer. So he was like, what if I had you guys listen to my HOH CD? You all loved it, and then I told you it was me. And then he goes on, what if I really had 200 or 300,000 followers, and what if I told you I performed at the CMA Awards? Well, not at the CMA Awards, but outside the CMAs, because I'm up and coming. Oh my God! Did you perform in someone's car in the parking lot? Yeah, so let's talk about Caleb's HOH room. He didn't get his own CD. He got Brett Eldridge's CD. And he also got some clothes, some snacks, lots of sunflower and pumpkin seeds. He got some photos of himself in uniform. I think it was like right after he enlisted. He got some old family photos from when he was younger. And his letter was from his dad and his stepmom. And they signed the letter, Beast Mode Dad and Beast Mode S-Mom, stepmom. Nice. So Derek and Frankie have a chat of their own. Frankie's like, wow, Victoria really crushed you in her eviction speech. And Derek's like, yeah, I know, she hates me. So Frankie is like, Derek, you know, we're Team America, we're tight. Can you please let me know if there's any talk, even 10 seconds of talk, about me going up this week? And Derek's like, yeah, sure, buddy. Lol. So after Victoria went to bed, there was a guys meeting up in the HOH room, penises only. So all four of them were up there, and they were like, oh, it's so childish that Victoria just said goodnight to everyone but Derek, and she burned everyone during the live show except for Cody, because she did call Derek out in her eviction speech as planned, and then she called out Frankie and Caleb as being the biggest slobs in the house. Ouch. So Caleb's like, all right, well, Victoria's obviously going up. I guess we're going to have to break out the Skittles for the second nominee. Yeah. So then they were like, all right, let's get down to business. Who's going up on the block? So they are like bitchily discussing who's gonna go up on the block next to Victoria. I mean, there are like stabs and slices and like really snide remarks and like backhanded remarks, and it's getting pretty ugly. It's all rare. So they don't really come to a decision. So then Cody and Frankie go downstairs, and Frankie's telling Cody, like, Derek has to go up. He hasn't been up yet. Meanwhile, Derek is alone in the HOH room with Caleb, and he's like, obviously, Frankie should go up. So Caleb seems down right now to nominate Frankie, even though he was against it earlier. So then the truth comes out again. It sounds like the reason that Caleb didn't want to nominate Frankie this time is because he doesn't want Frankie in the jury, because that would jeopardize Caleb's chance at winning America's Favorite Player. Because in seasons past, I guess if you're in the final two, you're not eligible for America's Favorite Player. So I don't know, it's just like stupid. Also, I'm sure Caleb is still waiting to meet Justin Bieber. So all the house guests stayed up really late last night studying in front of the memory wall, and Derek and Victoria had a few minutes alone, and Derek is like, yeah, everything's going according to plan, just keep staying away from me, leave me alone, and go bother the other guys. So the house guests woke up to a surprise this morning. On the TV screen in the living room, it said, "It's time for a luxury competition." And oh boy, was it. So they go and they're locked in this room with a TV screen. I think it was the room upstairs next to the HOH room. And Caleb was like, "This is the luxury competition. But first, Cody, your dinosaur costume is now extinct." Yay, I'm sure it extinks. So the TV screen came on, and they got to watch as the jurors, the whole jury, ran into the house and freaking tore it up. We only got to see 2 minutes of it on the feeds, but I guess it went on and on. So from what we saw, they were throwing around everyone's clothes, towels, the kitchen utensils. I think they poured hot sauce all over it. Zach freaking jumped up on the coffee table in the living room in his new pink hat and was dancing around like a goon. And then Nicole brought him a box of Fruit Loops, which he poured over his head, over everyone's clothes, while he was dancing on the table. He was just like, you know, his dance move that he always does. Yeah, he did that. So then there was kind of a weird moment where Hayden like dipped Nicole in front of one of the cameras and tried to lay a big kiss on her. She looked really uncomfortable with it because she seems to be very private about that stuff, so I don't think she was into that, but it was like weird. And the house guests were all watching in horror. They were just like, "We just cleaned!" So then the feeds were cut. They were off for a while, and when they came back, Victoria was screaming. She was like, "Those effing effers! They broke my favorite statement necklace! How could they do that?" So we also find out that Victoria won $5,000, and Hayden apparently also won $5,000. So the house guests were all cleaning up. It was a freaking mess. They really did tear things up. So all the house guests are like, "This is the bitterest jury ever, and they all suck," and blah, blah, blah. And Frankie's complaining about how the jury is being treated like kings this year. I guess he thinks that they should be in like a friggin' jail cell, like in Pirates of the Caribbean or something. I don't know. But he's not into it. So they're all like crabbing on and on and on about the jury being bitter and like how awful it is. And Cody's just like, "I'm pretty sure we would have done the same thing if we were in the jury." Cody, thank you for being the voice of reason. I'm sure Big Brother was like, "Go in there and F-S up." I don't think they just went in there and were like, "Let's destroy property." So I mean, whatever. When things get ruined on Big Brother, they pretty much always replace it. So it turns out that the jury members also dumped garbage all over the house. Gross! So each house guest was wearing a t-shirt with a jury member's name on it. It said like Team Blank. So Derek was wearing Team Donnie. Frankie was wearing Zach's shirt, Cody, Nicole. Caleb was wearing Jocasta's shirt, and Victoria was wearing Hayden's shirt. So I guess no one picked Christine. Just another ouch for her. So a little bit more, we're hearing more about the competition. It sounds like the house guests didn't get to play at all. They watched the whole thing unfold from the TV screen. So the juries were the ones competing, and it sounds like they were searching the house for chips, destroying along the way. And when I say chips, I don't mean potato chips, I mean like poker chips or whatever. So everyone is pissed that the jurors had the opportunity to win money. They're like, "They're out of the game, screw them." So like I said earlier, Hayden won $5,000, and because he won, his teammate, Victoria, also won $5,000. So I think it's pretty funny that Victoria won money for a competition that she didn't even compete in. Alright, so let's get back to the game. Derek tells Cody and Victoria that they can't leave Caleb alone with Frankie. They need to talk block him until after nominations. They can't let Frankie get into Caleb's head. So they had nominations today, and Caleb put up Victoria and Frankie. Oh! Yeah, so stuff's getting crazy because Frankie's pissed, and I'll talk about it more tomorrow. Also, Power Veto should be coming up. I don't know if it's going to be tonight, tomorrow, Saturday. I don't know, but I'll let you guys know when I know. So until tomorrow, much love.
Edit.